I Cut Grass, LLC.
Well, okay, it's time for me to cut my grass, and as you can see, I'm using a Toro Time Master here, which is a 30-inch lawnmower. It's small enough that it's not going to put too large of an impression in my lawn, and it allows me to kind of get through the back gates too. And I've got a bagger attachment on it. This lawn has a tendency to get lawn disease, and by bagging it, I can somewhat mitigate that or reduce the odds of that happening. And I've got to use different fungicides at different times of the season also, but it is what it is. I'm not a big fan of bagging grass, to be honest with you. I like the idea of recycling the nutrients back into the ground, but that's just not in the cards for my lawn. And as a result, I go through and I bag it, and so it takes me some time to cut my grass. Usually I've got 2, maybe even 2.5 hours when it's all said and done into my own lawn. Once I get the grass cut and bagged, then what I'll do is I'll go and I'll mow it again in a different direction. I don't like when I walk around the curb to see any straggly, single pieces of grass up. So this makes a more even cut. I'm not ever really focused about striping my own yard. That doesn't matter to me. I just want the edges and everything to be crisp and clean, and for the grass really, to look nice. So that's my primary goal, anytime really when I'm servicing my own yard. Typically, I'll go through and I'll do my trimming after I do the mowing. That's not always the case, but oftentimes it is. And the reason for that is because in most cases my lawn is regularly maintained, and the trimming clippings aren't going to do anything to make the lawn nasty or clip, have a collection of clips afterwards. But sometimes, I'll do the trimming first if there's a lot of grass. I've got an edge attachment on the edge of my trimmer here, and I use that so that I can also use the trimmer as an edger. I like that natural edge there along that flower bed of mine, and so it makes me, it just makes me feel like the lawn looks a lot nicer when I use that. So I started using that many years ago, and not many people use it actually. And then you can also use it as an edger, as I did on the garden on the side. I'm using it along the lawn here. This is the first time that I'm edging the property this season, and usually the first 2, maybe even 3 times that I edge, it's not real, crisp and straight. There's a little bit of waves here or there because I'm removing a lot of soil that's built up over the season. And so with me edging every other week rather than weekly, it takes a little bit, for me to be able to get in and get out relatively quickly. The first 2 or 3 times it does take a chunk of time extra, but I enjoy what I do. This is real therapeutic for me when I'm working on my own yard. And I do have a lot of pressure on me when I'm servicing my lawn, for my lawn to look nice, because everybody knows what I do for a living, and they like to tease me if something looks like it's off or whatever. Of course, there's a lot of cleanup to do after I'm done with the edging, but it's something that makes a big difference with the lawn when it's all said and done. It makes it stand out from the yards that aren't edged. And so one of my favorite times when I service my lawn is when I finish up the edging, and it just literally looks like a piece of cake is sitting on top of the turf. It's a very rewarding feeling, so much so for me anyway that I can just sit down and have a soda or maybe an occasional drink and just enjoy my lawn after I get the work done. It's certainly a great feeling when it's all said and done. Now, what I did on this particular mowing, as soon as I got that done, is I went through and I put down a 21-2204 granular starter fertilizer that's got mesotrione in it. And that's because I did some seeding. I'll get about 30 days of pre-emergent protection from this, but there are some areas that I had added some soil about a week prior. And so I want to give the grass a little bit of nitrogen and phosphorus, so that'll boost it up a little bit. And then also, like I said a minute ago, I get about 30 days of pre-emergent protection in the lawn by using this product. So I go through in this particular mowing and I just put it down. And then after it's all said and done, I don't have to worry about doing anything for it or to it for about 30 days. I always go through and blow everything off real thoroughly when I'm done. There's no method to my blowing at home. I just kind of go, I'm in my own little zone. I'll go this way for a little bit, that way for a little bit, or whatever. And the main goal here, of course, is to getting all the debris off the walkways in the street, especially in this particular case, since I put down a starter fertilizer. I don't want anybody coming into contact with that, so I go through and just blow it off and make sure it's nice and clean, and then I'm pretty much done until the next mowing anyway. It's again a very rewarding feeling when I'm mowing the grass. I've got some trouble spots right now that I'm working on, and we go back afterwards and you can see the edging is sharp. I didn't get the right angle that I wanted to on this visual, but it is what it is. Walking through, you can see there are no individual grass clippings sticking up anywhere, and it's just a nice, thorough job. It's done, and I get to enjoy it for the next 5, 6, 7 days.